Hello, everyone. We're live again.
Hi, good to see you.
Hello?
Hey, it's been a while since our
Slowly,
last stream.
It
it's
has.
been a it's been a day or two, right?
Almost a little longer.
Time flies when you're having fun.
When you're working hard, fixing
Yeah.
bugs
That's
and new
right.
content.
That's right, because we've been working on new features that are coming out in an update, and we wanted to share it with you all.
That's right. We're today here to talk to you about the update 1, which is called Cables and Creations. We announced it, I think, 2 days ago, on Monday, if I remember correctly. And today we're going to show you some of the most prominent features and additions and to answer your questions. So that's that.
That's exciting. That's exciting. Foundry came out like 2, 3 months ago now, and we've received so much feedback that we've been filtering through with bug fixes. Like I know Yog, you pushed out so many bug fix patches in the last couple months, but this is our first time where we're gonna have like a meaty update for you to jump into. We're kind of considering this like a medium update. Like we have updates that are larger in scope in the future, but there's already a lot of stuff here.
Absolutely. We have a question if the YouTube stream isn't working.
It's
Ooh,
working for
Is it
me.
working?
I think.
All
We're
right.
yeah, we're not on the Paradox YouTube. We're on the Channel 3 YouTube. I think that's maybe the confusion there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So where are we, Patrick? What is this world?
Well, it,
Oh my God, Mark. You do the best intros. Where
so
are we? Please tell me what this is. All right, go ahead, Patrick. I'm sorry.
Sure,
I'm not.
sure, sure. So, this is just a little base our art director has been building to show some of the new decor pieces. We have quite a few new decor pieces. Some of those are those trusses. We had some before, but there's more now. We have, generally speaking, more block shapes to create more different angles for slanted pieces. We have more wall decorations. You can't see them right here, but I think they're somewhere else. Otherwise, I'll build them for you. We have,
There's
yeah?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, tell me.
I was gonna say the railings are tintable. You might notice those are the same railings as before, but you can tint them now. And then you might notice there's the curved window pieces now, so you can make this cool curved window thing. And then the part I think our art director's most proud of is the new doors, because he realized that in all the trailer footage and everything, they always start this camera goes through this door that opens, and he's like, please, just we have to get the new door art in. But we have new doors, and they're tintable as well, so they can fit better with the rest of your base.
Yes.
Watch us never use the door shot again now that we have the new art. That's really huge. So another person saying we're not live on YouTube. Let me click and see what's going on here. It's live for me. I think maybe YouTube is just having a hiccup because yeah, I clicked it, still live.
Yeah, so
Ooh,
about those railings, not only are they tintable, we now have more railing pieces, and we have railings that go well with the stairs. So that was something that was highly requested. That's been
Oh, and
added.
the stairs are tintable is the other thing. That's
That's
new as well,
correct.
right?
Yes.
Thank you. I win. That's correct. You win the trivia.
um,
comment that the walkways are not tintable. You know what? That's on the list.
Yeah,
You know,
that's on the list.
We made a lot of stuff tintable, but not the walkways yet. I
Yeah.
think for our next update, we're gonna have some crazy new modular buildings. Spoiler alert, and we're gonna try to do it with that. Because
Yeah,
if you played pretty deep into Foundry, you know that the modular buildings are just covered in walkways.
that's true. We also did a bunch of with different angles. So like now you have stairs that aren't as steep. Like basically need 2 blocks forward to get you 1 block up. Here we also see something new. This is a portable light. For that you don't need power. That means it's a bit more expensive to craft. It has like an energy cell in there, but the upside is when you're like doing some cave exploration, you can just place it wherever you want and you don't need power for that. That can be quite useful for a bunch of cases.
Yeah, I mean, like caves are dark. Basically, you actually have to use lights in this game to navigate around, and laying factory floor everywhere was not really viable a lot of the time, right?
Oh, Patrick, I don't think you showed these yet. The ceiling lights. The
No,
ceiling lights
Oh,
are new,
yeah.
right?
haven't. Yes,
These are really nice.
those are like really big ones. They 3 by 3 and even multiple blocks high. So like you need to incorporate them into your ceiling. The reason they have this height is because they have support for data cables, which is something we're going to look at a bit later.
Oh, look at that segue.
Yeah, yeah.
That's such a
what-
good segue. Good job, Patrick.
Wait, but what about
I
the
feel like
stick
that's
light?
scripted.
Just came up with that on the go. Yes, one of the big features for the update are data cables, which means signals and logic. You can do all sorts of advanced behavior, remote control certain machines, bunch of things. What's important to point out, they are optional. So like we haven't rebalanced parts of the games where into a state where you're forced to use them. This is basically stuff that can make your life a little easier if you're into doing some sort of custom behavior. Like you can make a belt stop depending on how much resources is in a container. You can control the priorities of which power generators should be used depending on how charged the batteries are. All sorts of things. We'll go over that in the mid part of the stream. I'm gonna start with a rough overview, I think, and then we look at the things in detail.
Aaron was just asking, do those lights need power? No, those are I don't know, nuclear powered, fission powered. What powers them, Patrick? But they're self-contained, right?
Yeah, so if the question's about these lights, they do not need power. They have an energy cell in it that powers them. And
Whereas the big one up
the,
here does.
the big one does, yes. So you need to have building blocks on top of the building. You can see them behind on top here. That's how they get
Mr.
power.
Mr. Floyd says, this looks like high-res industrial Minecraft. That is essentially a big part of the inspiration behind this game. So that's a compliment for sure.
Yes, to Aaron, these are glowing endlessly. Given that they need an energy cell, they are actually quite expensive for a light. So yeah, they stay bright forever.
Well, but what about this light, Patrick? Isn't this a sick light?
Ah, yeah.
I built this light so long ago, and I've just been trying to find a way to stick it in an update. So it's like one of those little garden lights. Come on, they're so cute.
Yeah, it's a new light pole.
I think like a lot of what this update is a lot of like sandbox features. Like we're going to talk about the mods, we're going to talk about the data cables, talk about some of the other features we've added. But like it's a lot of stuff to make your Foundry experience better and more replayable, I think.
Absolutely. Sandbox is the right theme, I guess. Lots of features are just to add more width to the game. There are like other things you can do and play around with. So that's the overall theme of this one. You've mentioned it. There's mods. Mod support is the second big feature that's coming. And Yoke, maybe you wanna tell us a bit about the scope of that and what people can imagine?
Sure. So there's, I mean, I'm going to go over, if you've already read the Foundry Friday, that was what, last week or the week before? I forget now. But if you read that, a bunch of it's already been spoiled. But we're adding workshop support. And there's two like big categories of mods. For those of you familiar, and he's in the chat, so we hired Urkel's been making mods for Foundry for a while now, and he's actually working with us now. We hired him. And if you're familiar with the tweaks system that Urkel has done, what that allows you to do is you can take any of the Foundry sim data. So say you were unhappy with the recipe requirements for Building Science Pack 3, or you want to make a new recipe, or you wanted to make it more challenging or less challenging, you can make these little text files, and you can basically tweak or add recipes or remove any of those, or you could change the efficiency of the building, things like that. And then the other one, Patrick, if you want to follow me in,
Sure.
Is the mod kit, which is basically it's a Unity pack. It's a Unity project that you can download on Steam, and then you open in Unity, and then we have a website where you can download the different assets in the game. So, for example, this door here, this isn't actually a new door that we made. This is a door that I bought off the Unity Asset Store to test the modding system. And you can see here, like it uses the same door handle that we use on our doors. And then it opens and closes just like our doors. But you can effectively make new versions of the existing buildings in games. So it's like a prop here, these walls. Let me take down one of the walls. You can see like this is actually all these modular pieces that make up this corridor. Here's another different type of door. The fountains here are, again, to give credit where credit's due, is something I bought off the Unity Asset Store, again, to test that we could actually bring in like new textures, new materials, new models made from someone else and bring them into the game. So you can either skin existing buildings, you can create new buildings, but you'll also notice, for example, like I showed that the doors, like you can actually have buildings that have functionality like our buildings, but also, for example, the ceiling lights, they actually shine light. Otherwise, this whole, like if I get rid of all these lights, you'll see that this area will darken. So it's actually not just like a visual thing. They actually have some kind of functionality. The other one we have, I haven't spawned it yet, but I'm sure.
Wait, can I just say how freaking cool it is that you all of a sudden you're in a sci-fi corridor in Foundry now? Like, people are gonna make such wild mods from this. Like, there's gonna be like Foundry's gonna be every factory game ever now. Like, you know, somebody's gonna make the weirdest factory game.
So this one here, but oh, sorry, Mark. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm interrupting you, and I meant to, so I apologize.
This one is slightly different because this one, it's not a new building, it's a skin for the existing assembler. And those who will recognize it is at the top here, that's actually Urkel's logo. We kind of made it in honor of him because he's already been doing all this cool modding stuff for us. So this is actually a skin for the existing assembler. This is art we actually made, our art director made this. And when you plug it in, the sides of it will animate, which is cool. And then here you can see, this is more mod stuff. Patrick, if you come over here, these railings aren't ours. They're from the Unity Asset Store. So are these little panels on the bottom, and these cool stairs that you can kind of see through. This is a mod as well. It's just kind of show like you can put all sorts of different things yourself into the game and then share it on the workshop and have other people use it. And the way I made these, which is kind of the way, what we're basically trying to do is allow you use the same workflows we do. And the way I made these is I downloaded our version of the stairs or our version of the railings, and I just started messing around with the settings. So I changed the way it looked. Sometimes I change the size of it. Sometimes I just reposition, for example, on the Urkel assembler, I changed where the screen panel was a little bit. There's a tool where you can make these foundations that are kind of iconic to Foundry, where the loaders connect. You can generate your own foundation of any size. So if you make a building that's say 3 by 20, you can like this really long building. You can just generate the base that the buildings sit on, and then go ahead and stick that in the game. There's a few boxes and a panel here, just little decor things. But yeah, that's so all the mods you see will be available in the workshop if you're more of just like, hey, I like using mods, I want to decorate my base. But if you're a person who likes to create things, the mod kit will also be available in this update, which is the Unity project and the ability to download our assets and either make new ones or make skins of existing ones, just depending on what you want. And also just the tweak stuff that Urkel was making available on Discord, that'll also be available. So if you just want to customize your Foundry experience, make it easier, make it harder, make yourself the most challenging one, or if you disagree with how hard some parts of the game are, you can also make your own versions of that and share that with your friends, play it in multiplayer or whatnot. Yeah, I think that's all I got.
All right.
You know, like the cool thing is like the mod store or like the Steam Workshop already has a ton of awesome mods on it, like beyond those art ones. It's just wild. Like we were when we were doing this work, we were like, how many like examples are we really going to have up? And now there's already a ton of great content for day one. So it's really exciting stuff.
I forgot 2 of them that we should show. Patrick, do you want to show Urkel's cool calculator?
Absolutely.
So these are actually some mods, by the way, that actually involve scripting the game a little bit. There's a large areas of the game that you can't script yet, but there's some areas that you can script. So Patrick's going to show one, which is, by the way, Urkel made this entirely, so he deserves the entire credit for this. Like you'll see on the workshop when it's available, he's made a lot of cool mods. But what Patrick is showing is Urkel made this cool calculator. Where you can set your inputs or your outputs, and you can actually see what it's going to take to actually get your factory to produce that many items.
That's really cool, and it's really useful. So
this one, all you do is you load it up, you hit divide on your or your keypad, and then you start adding inputs and outputs, and you can have multiple different recipes. It's super, super cool. And the other one I'll show, so you won't see everything on your side, but Urkel made this really cool, one sec. Urkel made something called the duplicationer, which, let me just set this up. So it's basically the ability to place blueprints. So right now I'm selecting all these lights over here, and then let me just confirm copying them. And let me align this. You're already looking, Patrick?
I am looking at the lights, if that's what you're duplicating.
Yep.
All right.
And then hopefully if I get this right, I put this down, and then I confirm paste. And then you can see I basically duplicated that whole row of lights. So Urkel also made a cool blueprint mod for the game that is going to be available as part of the workshop update. I know people on the Discord have already been using some of Urkel's really cool mods. It does make it a lot easier to get access to them now that they're on the workshop. You just hit subscribe, and then there's a mod menu in game where you can turn your mods on and off.
Yeah, no, it's way easier because it also like auto updates when in Steam and all these other great features. Like there's some questions like from Anthro asking about how this whole works, and it's like you just click subscribe, and then when you start a game, you choose which mods are active. Like it's a really slick interface, and it makes mods like more accessible to the average Foundry player. You're not messing in File Explorer. You're just clicking subscribe. It auto updates. You choose which save files have which mods. It's a real great system. You guys killed it on this. And blueprints, not the version that we're going to implement, but there is for the people that have been begging for it. you can download a mod and start playing with it. You don't have to wait for us to do our version, right? So it's a way for people to make Foundry their own when we're taking our time, right?
Yeah. We had a couple of questions in chat. I'd like to address a few of them.
Sure. I also read one.
One was about the space station, and if we have to address plans to address some of the issues with bottlenecks and whatnot. So, short answer, yes, absolutely. We'll have. We're working on changing that system a bit to address all those things, like that the ships always have to go to the center of the map and so on. It wasn't really in scope for this update, but we're working on it, and there will be changes and updates to that. What else do we have? My biggest worry with the asset mods is that what happens when the author deletes the mod or is not working anymore after the update. The game gracefully handles them. Well, I guess that depends a lot on what the mod does. We're always trying to maximize for compatibility and comfort, but depending on what mod does, if they like modify the game very heavily, there might be cases where this is not going to work. This is mostly dependent on the mod and what things have been modified. But yeah, so maybe create some backups just in case.
I would also say, like, we're gonna find cases where that happens, right? And this is the first iteration on the mod kit. We'll probably have fixes and changes along the way. That's kind of like the whole joy of an early access title, is we're learning what's going to be a problem as we go. We're trying our best to think of all those problems and make sure it's compatible, but I'm sure there'll be a popular mod that does just what you're saying, that doesn't gracefully shut down, and we'll have to look at how to fix it on our side, or what we can do. So I see a really good question. Is Patrick's got a Hawaiian shirt on? Did he just come from the beach?
This is just how he is.
I wish. Unfortunately, no beach in my vicinity. No.
But it's a beach lifestyle. It's it's different.
Yeah, I enjoy wearing those shirts. It's not the first time I'm wearing it on stream, actually. So.
Hey Patrick, maybe show the new accessibility feature we added with screen panels.
Of course.
I can't show it on my screen, so we're gonna need you to go and configure some stuff here.
Oh, there goes the power.
Oh, who broke the power?
I guess it just ran out.
Duplicating the lights was a bad idea.
Yeah, it's like too much.
How much power did the power draw on those lights is insane. I should have.
Where's the generator, guys?
Oh no, we're in the dark now.
I found it. It's right here. Okay,
let's fix it.
Fill it up, and yeah. And there should the power be coming back. Ah, there it is. Perfect. All right. So, one of the kind of common cases in our game was that some sort of loader blocks the screen panel. This one is still quite fine, although not perfect, but like on some assemblers you had like loaders on all the sides, and then when you were going there it really was not very comfortable to interact with. So what we have added is you can look at the panel and press E, and that brings it up basically maximized on full screen, or like rather full screen, and then you can interact with it any way you want, and you can press E again to close this, or you can just walk away. That works as well. Escape closes it too, whatever you like. Yeah, that's basically that. It works with all panels. Same on those. The range is not huge. You can open it from here. Let's see how far I can go. Yeah, so here is already too far, and here it works. So like, this is not necessarily intended to become like a remote control of all the machines, but just an accessibility feature when they are obstructed. We're still evaluating this and going to see how the reception is going to be, and then we might tune the interaction distance. Currently, you also have to aim at the panel itself, like you cannot open it from the other side of the building. It's a bit of a discussed topic. We're aware that some people would really enjoy that, like you could from any side of the building just look at it and open the panel. Others enjoy the immersion of actually having to go there. This is the first step that addresses the real issue, and for everything else we'll see how it goes and if we add more convenience to it or not.
Yeah, and one of the questions we got earlier was about like, hey, are you going to do more for Steam Deck and controller support? And we definitely are planning to. One of the things we needed for Steam Deck verified was for these like little text to be more readable on the Steam Deck. So in a big way, this feature also is part and parcel with some of our plans for improved controller and Steam Deck support. It's just like one of the stepping stones to get us there. We're going to keep improving that, and maybe if we're lucky, the next update we have a better pass. It's just unclear on the timeline where we like really are happy with controller and Steam Deck.
Yeah.
But we're working towards it in pieces right now.
Yo, here's a question for you. Will Steam Workshop work on dedicated servers?
So here's my honest answer, is that I know that when you set up the workshop, you can configure it so that dedicated servers can download things from the workshop. So we are going to turn that on, but I actually have no experience using the workshop with dedicated servers. Like, I don't know how you actually tell them to subscribe to mods, so I have to look into that. But the dedicated server does, like, there is a mods folder and you can stick mods in there, and that already works. I just have to go learn how you actually tell an anonymous dedicated server to load mods, but there's no reason why the server can't load the mods.
Yeah, I think there is a way. We just haven't tested it. I'm sure there'll be a hot fix or something if we find a problem when our partners try to integrate the mods, because I'm sure it'll be a much requested feature with them.
Perfect.
Yeah. Like, there are, like, basically, even before workshop support, people have been using the dedicated server with mods. They were just downloading the mods off of Discord.
Yeah, so it's not impossible. I do think it will work with subscribing. It just it's not our area of expertise.
All right. So while you were talking, I've been wandering off a bit to a platform with transport chips that make use of the new Decor pieces. I think that looks really cool. The way how those metal struts and trusses hold up the platform. And on top of the platform we have two transport chips. One's all currently moving. And that brings us to another feature that we have recently added. I'm going to, oh no, I just was about to delete it and now the ship took off, so now I don't want to delete it. I'm going to extend this platform, even if it's not going to look as beautiful as what Jason has built, but that's fine. Here we have a new transport chip. It has a different color. You can see the landing pad It's a little bit different as well, and that should already tell you what it's about. This ship is able to carry and transport liquids. So if you did not enjoy building pipelines long thousands of blocks, this is going to way. That's going to be really useful for you. I'm not going to set up the full transport route because it's the same as everything else. It's mostly to show off the art. Like instead of loader slots, you have pipe connections. You can put in the liquid you want to transport. Works with any liquid, and the configuration is exactly the same as the others. You place the start and the destination pad, and then the ship flies and transports your stuff.
Is it someone asked, is it the exact same size as the other ones?
It is. And here's something else. We have finally added animations to the robots in our factory, so the pilot is now actually moving around a bit, pressing buttons, and looking more alive.
I love the yellow. That's a sharp looking ship. Let's see how he's doing. Oh, he's a little antsy. He's gotta go to the bathroom.
He's chilling.
Like
So, yeah.
I made a path back when we need to go back.
Yeah. Will there ever be trains in the game? Well, it's on our roadmap under experimental features. That means we are looking into it. We're not exactly at the state where we feel confident promising it, but it's certainly something we are experimenting it, and then we'll see how it goes. Any way to refill Olymite reservoirs, they run out so quickly? Currently not, but that is another thing we are working on. We don't really know yet how we want to address it, but yes, we want to provide you with some options to make that part of the game more comfortable as well.
Oh, do you want to mention the world gen settings? Like, you don't have to show them. But,
yes, absolutely. That's a great point. I didn't think of that actually. So
you're welcome.
That's one of the most requested.
Yeah, I can't show that right now because I'd have to exit the game, but when you start the new game, you'll be presented with a frame with a lot of sliders that lets you configure the resource generation settings. So that includes ore patches, ore veins, and reservoirs, Olymite reservoirs. And what you can modify is two different things for each of those. First thing you can modify is the amount of those objects, how many are spawned in the world. So like you can configure it that there is more Olymite reservoirs spawned around the planet. And the second part you can configure is what we call the richness. That means how much you can extract from each reservoir or patch. So like from a reservoir, it modifies how much Olymite there is on an ore patch. It modifies how much ore you can extract per voxel block. So that is something that allows you some more customizability. Can we only use it on a new game? Yes, that is currently the case. There's no way to modify those settings in an existing game because the world generator is already initialized for that, and it will be, it's not possible to do that. Sorry for that. Will there be an unlimited ore option? There is currently not. It might be something we might add at some point. My honest answer is not a huge fan because it does make a whole lot of technology obsolete. Like there's no point in using the fracking and stuff like that. So it does actually reduce the amount of meaningful content in a game. However, it's not really for us to decide what you should be having fun with. So like there's a lot of people who want to have infinite ores. So I think it's something we might add at some point and put some warning in there that we believe it's not recommended, but if you want to go with it, go ahead.
Do you wanna start setting up the data cables before we run out of time?
Sure. I was just looking at what you've been building here. Those are the new escalators. Before I hop on, like you've seen this before, but we have now 3 different tiers in speed, and all of them are much faster. So they're now actually a usable fast travel method. So, Mark, let's hop on here.
I'm behind you. You can also walk on it still and run as well, but you know,
yeah,
it's
if you run on it, you're even faster.
A tiny bit, yeah. And this is the yellow one is tier 2, so it's still quite a bit faster, but you feel on the yellow one, I feel like I need to run to get the most out of it. On the green one, I'm okay to have a nap.
Absolutely. Yeah, light, medium, and heavy vomit speed. Yeah.
I think, you know, the thing is, what I like about this, and you know, we're going to do more of this, is the idea of building infrastructure is just fun. It's, you know, it is tedious somewhat, you know, to go and lay these down, but now all of a sudden it's easy to walk over to this, you know, over to these buildings here whenever you need to go make a tweak. And so it's kind of a rewarding. It kind of fits Foundry. So.
All right. Well, I think it's time to look at the data cables. Or is there anything else we haven't covered yet?
By the starting location, we don't have to look at it, but I made a little thing over there.
Yeah. Where is it?
I mean, it's just the thing I made. It's okay.
So.
Maybe it should be better surprise.
What's that, Mark? Is that Jurassic Park?
Dun, 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 dun,
What's happening?
We're getting copyright striked.
Can you imagine the content ID was like, oh, you can't monetize this.
Yeah.
You stole from Jurassic Park.
I don't think I sing well enough for that to happen, so I suspect I missed the note. Yeah, so we have we're gonna have critters in the world spawn. We're not talking too much about them here today, but they're sort of placed sporadically throughout the world when you create a new world now. There's no gameplay system with the current critters. They're just adding a little bit of life to the world. We're gonna look at what we can do with them in the future when we release a more critter-centric update. They're just fun little buddies, so you don't feel so lonely.
And you can pick them up and bring them to your factory if that's something you enjoy. There you go.
Still, the game is still factory building and not art. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's still focused on factory building. They're just, you know, it was one of those things. We got a lot of comments that people really wish there was a little more life in the world. So we're hopefully going to do a gameplay system around them, but that's still like in the idea stages. So we wanted to just release them, get some feedback, what's annoying about them, and bring a little life to the world. So can't wait till they start digging and eating ore. That's my idea. That's good. You gotta feed them a little canned food. People, I see. Like we were like, oh, if we release critters, people will think we're not focused on the factory. And now everyone's like, hey, start feeding let's put in some critter content. Which is what I hope the feedback's like that, because I think they're really fun. They make the world just less lonely.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we can go with the system.
Wait, can you drill the turtle for them? Because there's some questions what happens.
They are drill proof.
But
So
they do react. They're not too happy about it.
yeah, so like I don't want to go too far here. So yeah. Uh,
Okay. Sorry, guys. We can do the data cables now, which is like the meat of the update. Now that I'm done showing off silly stuff.
Perfect. Okay. Well, so data cables. I'll see how I'll explain that. I think for some of you, you'll be immediately familiar with those. Like, there's a lot of people who enjoy this type of functionality in other games, but I still want to like present it for those who don't know what it is. So first of all, we have a cable, and it works in a way, it works similar to pipes, but it automatically takes the shape of what is needed. So like there is no right click menu where you need to select the pieces. You just connect them and it automatically switches to whatever is needed. So what can you do with this? Data cables create data networks between all the connected pieces, and they can hold signals and values. So what you can do is you can connect it to a bunch of buildings, and you see these buildings that support the connection have this green highlighter once you select the cable. So I'm going to connect it to the logistics container, and I'm going to connect this over here. And now what's going to happen is that the container will broadcast whatever is in there. So I'm going to spawn some item and be like, let's see, let's take some plates. Put in 200 plates. And when I use the tablet to inspect the cable, you'll see it says data cable signals, and there is the signal of the plate, and the value is 200. So that means you can do all sorts of logic with this signal now. For example, let's see what you could do. This doesn't really make much sense in this setup because this is currently moving around the science packs, but that should still be good enough to show. You can connect it to a loader, and then you can use your tablet and alt-click to open the data system frame. And there you can set what you want it to do. For example, enable based on condition, and say that means the loader should only work when this condition you're configuring here is true. So for example, you could now set the plate signal and say that the loader should only work when there are more than 200 plates in this container. So now the loader isn't working because you see the red light, and because we have exactly 200. Now if I change it to equals 200, the light turns green and the loader is working. I mean, it's blocked up, but like it would be working otherwise. And that's just one small example. You see the loader has also support to pulse the items the loader moved for a single tick. That can be used to create some sort of counters or one-time triggers. Yeah. There it goes.
I made it work.
Yeah, and see, now it worked. It moved out one plate, and now the condition immediately invalidated because now there are not 200 plates in there anymore, and it stopped working. We have support on the belts as well, with basically similar conditions. You can stop the belt, basically block it. You can pulse what's passing through, and yeah, there's a bunch of things you can do. Some lights have data cable systems. Not every building supports it, but quite a bunch of them do. So you can remote control the light. Those come pre-configured with certain with the condition of the light itself being bigger than 0. What's the reason behind this? To be able to make light switches rather quickly. So I'm going to connect a bunch of them here, and then going to set.
And it's like it's a sandbox thing, right? Because like, you know, obviously he's doing the switch here, but it could be logic, like when you're low on that product, it changes the lights as an indicator, right?
Absolutely, that's something you can do, yeah. So
one of the suggestions is an audible alarm. I love that. I love like this, like an air raid siren or something, like a really obnoxious noise. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
You could actually just play the Jurassic Park theme. We should let you put in your own MP3 files.
Oh my god, that'd be so good.
So
yeah,
I like that idea. So I don't think we have that one right now, but that's a great addition. No. Thank you for that idea.
Yeah, but it's something we're planning. Yes, a general notification system, because being informed when you run low on something is obviously a prime example. So we have this switch here, and I configured it properly, and now I can use this to turn off and on all the lights at once. So that's pretty cool. We have a couple other things as well. We have a single button. Oh, for that, the art isn't updated yet. This is not the newest build. This is from yesterday. The button basically works in a way where it sends the signal just for a single tick. Can be used for a couple other things. We have signal modification. It's rather straightforward. You can like do all sorts of math operations. So like you can say, take the plate signal and multiply it by 5 and output it as the A signal. And now if I check here, while on the input side you have 199 plate, and here you have 995 as the output. There is something to check conditions with. So like you can say if the plate signal is greater than 500, output something else. We have all sorts of configurations here. I don't want to go too far into the details. We do have special signals, like an each signal. We have a condition to check if anything is greater than something, or if everything is greater than something. It's quite flexible. We have with a memory cell. For that I also have only the placeholder art here, but that I think is going to be exceptionally useful. You can save the last signal of a certain thing and then reset it on a different signal. So yeah, we have a bunch of things we can do with that. Our playtesters already have built quite cool things from, as I said, you can make lights that go automatically on when it gets night, because if you place a solar panel, I'm going to show that off here. You can connect it to, oh yeah, it automatically already connected, and you can tell the solar panel to broadcast the solar angle in degrees, so that can be used to track the sun position or to make a clock, depending on the accuracy you need. So it's just one of those things. You can remote control assemblers. You can configure what items a filter loader should put out. Yeah, there's...
Someone asked where in the research tree is it? At what science pack level?
This comes right after you complete Science Pack 2, so I think on the grand scheme of the progression, it's currently like mid-game, roughly.
Okay.
We didn't want to put it too early because it's an optional feature. You're not forced to use it. We don't really want it to confuse people right at the beginning with it. And yeah.
It like you're alluding to what some of the like we've had some people play testing with this feature to work it through, and one of the people build computers, displays, all sorts of crazy things. Like it's a deep feature for those people who love it. There were a lot of questions sort of around the cabling and the size. I think it being 1 voxel wide, yeah, it's not as pretty as it could be, but it's a lot easier to think about than like having now like a subdivided unit. So I think that was like, this is a purposeful decision to make it this large. And it's just because this stuff can be pretty complicated, and whatever we can do to make it easier to use is going to make it a more used feature, I think. The other thing is, and when Patrick started talking about this feature to me initially, I had to like wrap my head around it. And the way you should think about data cables is this is your basic Ethernet. Like this isn't the power grid or anything like that. Like this is Ethernet, and so it's carrying all sorts of data, and it lets you do some crazy complicated things. And it can control the power grid by like turning on and off transformers and whatnot.
Yeah,
but,
I'm showing that right now.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, like because that was the part that like for me as like somebody that hadn't gone deep into other games with data cables, that was the part that I needed to understand before I was like, oh, I get it. This is how I'm going to use it. But just think of it as Ethernet. That's I think the trick.
Yeah, that's a great summary. We could go over the list of buildings that support it, but I think that would be too much into detail. There are a couple useful, and I'm looking forward to what people are going to do. The miners, for example, are able to tell you the output rate, how much they're currently producing per minute. So you could connect all your miners and sum up those signals, and you could then have an overview of how much ore you're producing per minute. You can do that with belts as well to track how much are passing through. Yeah, there's a bunch of cool things you can do. We will pretty shortly after the update add 1 or 2 additional features. We want to make a screen that's able to show certain numbers of certain signals on a display, basically. Maybe we can get it in time, but ran a bit late on that feature. Might be coming shortly after.
Yeah, I mean, the update's coming out pretty soon, but we're like jamming everything we can to the last minute. That's been our strategy.
Yeah, and I mean, as always, the game is early access. We're listening to your feedback and all the good suggestions. that convince us will eventually make it into the game. So looking forward to what else you'd like to see to make this more interesting and even
Yeah,
cooler.
and there was a question about like what kind of mods are available at launch, like have modders been given it? We've only given this to, I think, Urkel, who is one of the most prolific modders in our community, and he's put up some of his most popular mods, and then we've done some example mods. So there'll be interesting mods at launch. I think there's like maybe something somewhere around that number right now available.
There's 20 of them.
20.
There's
20 mods.
Yeah. There's the calculator, the blueprints, there's big explosions. There's actually there's a new data indicator which is a block that lights up if it gets a signal.
Somebody could
There's
do the siren then as a mod as well, right?
Yeah. There's you could do the siren. There's bulk demolish. All the ones you're familiar, or I don't want to say all, but a lot of the ones you're familiar with on the Discord are available on the workshop. What else? There's a zoom. But yeah,
Ooh,
there's
that was a much requested feature, the zoom. I'm stalled in a very like stoic position on the camera. I'm gonna try resetting my camera. I don't know if I'm gonna wreck your thing, Patrick. I don't know if I should try.
I think we're pretty soon done anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, is there anything else we want to show or should show? Is there any question?
You know what, the second we end this, we're gonna remember a bunch of other features we meant to show off, but you know, maybe just our gratitude for everyone who's helped give all this feedback. Like you can probably tell from this update that a lot of this stuff is things we've heard from the community. Like we have lots of content in our plans that's coming out in future updates. This update in a big way is our response to like what we're hearing our players actually want, and trying to deliver something that lets them enjoy Foundry the way they want to. So thank you.
Here's one question I want to answer. Like the game's going to reset with the update. I assume you ask if you need to start a new save game. You don't have to. It's compatible with everything you have in your previous saves, and yeah.
You won't get critters or the world gen options, obviously, but you can.
You just have to explore to find them, though. That's the.
Oh, if you go to a new area. Oh, even if interesting. So you don't even need to generate a new world to get them.
Yeah. So yeah, you won't find critters in the areas you've already explored, but they spawn, like the world is infinite. So if you explore beyond what you've explored to this point, you will come across them. So in theory, like you'll have less of them that you should at that point, but you can still get them and bring them to your factory. Just need to explore.
Okay, Patrick, I'm going to try to toggle my camera because I can't say goodbye like this.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess it'll break shortly, but it should be fine. Let's see. Now you have a loading icon, so that's an upgrade. Thoughts of using a portal to make travel faster. Personally, not a big fan of teleporting, but something that makes you get around quicker, like maybe like transport ships that can be used as a cab, something like that, smaller ones to travel quicker. Like I do see the issue. I'm not saying like, no, I want everyone to like have to waste 15 minutes running around. We've addressed this issue for now with the new escalators. You can traverse the world a lot faster, showing that off once more. Like this is really fast. But yeah, we're still looking into other potential things as well. Okay, is Mark going to blow up this base as well? Is he?
I didn't think about that.
Too bad. Is this the first stream where the base survives? That might be a premiere then.
Hold on. I think I have to I'm gonna blow up the base while rejoining Discord, so you can see the glee on my face as it all explodes.
Oh my god.
As
Well, you can help
always.
too, yo. You don't have to.
I'm going to help you blow it all up.
There's a question for me and Mark, which is how much harder is it to make a game in 3D as opposed to 2D like the games we made at Clay? And it's one more dimension, so it's literally 50% harder. Exactly. No, it's always like me and Mark worked at Capcom before this, and Mark worked on Hot Lava, so we both have made 3D games before. But yes, everything's harder in 3D. Everything's more expensive
Hey.
to do. Everything's harder.
I'm back. I'm back. I don't know what happened to Discord, but I'm back.
Oh, welcome back, Mark.
For a brief moment there, you were me. Well, no, I mean, look, we're super pumped for this update. Obviously, we have a lot of other stuff coming out. We have a lot of features that are like already really cool, but we're it's not ready to ship them. So we're trying to keep some surprises for the next update. But I think this update is the kind of thing that'll keep Foundry going in the meantime, because I think people are gonna make. What I've noticed with this community is people just make awesome stuff, like really friggin' awesome stuff. So I think what we're gonna find is all the things you're waiting on us and you're saying we're slow, the modding community is gonna put in the games. So that is that's probably the like silver lining as you wait for more content.
All right, Mark, are you ready to push the button?
Rumble. Yeah.
I still need to check where I'll position myself.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good vantage point here where I am, where you can see the like ships in the background and stuff.
All
See
right,
where I am.
I'll
Yeah,
come to
I
your.
recommend that.
What do you think
We
is
should have
making
done
this
big
genre Automation Factory popular for devs and gamers right now? Ha, that's a good question. Well, to answer it as a dev, it made it attractive to me because I enjoy playing those games, and I wanted to have something in 3D that's a bit closer to modded Minecraft. So that was my personal inspiration. And as a player, well, I like building games, I like management games, and yeah, Factory was just something that has a lot of that and was the game with the most type of long-term motivation, I guess. Can play Factory games for so long, I like doing that. So yeah, I guess that's that.
They have
answer for me.
explosive potential.
Oh my god. There's no way this doesn't just freeze the game. It's gonna just break the game.
Well, let's go out with a bang.
Oh my
All
god.
right.
Oh my god.
See for you later.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay.
Just stop. Just hit the button.
Press it, Mark. Press it.
What? Oh, they weren't marked as explodable, or is it just delayed?
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
just
quite
delayed.
delayed. It's quite delayed. It's like.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there it goes.
Yeah. It's something
yeah.
I'll have to fix. It'll get there. We'll
You'll get there. It's early access, guys.
Wow.
Good job, Mark.
So,
It's
Way
slow.
to finish the stream with us with like a putter instead of a bang.
yeah.
Good job.
It's slowly
But look, it
disappearing.
didn't crash
Okay.
or lag. Wow.
Yeah, actually, I mean that's the positive. It's optimized for frame rate. It's not optimized for cool looking explosions, but hey, it's optimized for frame rate. So that's something.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah.
I mean, look, we're working on the game. You can follow our update. Join our Discord. Come chat with us. We're always there. We do these Foundry Friday blogs every other week for some reason, and we like to share what we're working on and talk about the struggles we're having and what we're solving this week. And you know, it's if you're interested in that aspect, yeah, give us a follow on Steam. if you haven't bought Foundry already, what are you doing? Get out there! Oh my God, it's such a good game. I recommend it.
They're waiting for high quality explosions. That's what most of the
That's
community's
what-
waiting for.
Hey. No, look, it's a great game. Lots coming. We got lots of plans. Yeah, I hope this update keeps people engaged and excited for the future of Foundry, because we're just trying to raise the quality bar every update going forward, and just deeply, happy to have a community like this that cares as much about the game and gives us the feedback we need to make it better. So thank you, everybody, who's been with us on this journey so far, because it's been a long one, and I can't wait to show you to share this update with everybody, and then show you what we're working on next.
By the way, someone asked, and I don't think we've said it, but the date's announced, right, for the update?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
next Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yep. That's a good update day.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Thanks,
that's
guys.
it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking
guys.
with us. And
You guys
see
have
you on the next
have a
one.
good day, and see you on Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Choo-choo.